I was watching that video the other day about like how words are pronounced in like all the pretty languages and then German at the end. Have you seen this?
No.
They're like ambulance, 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 Krugenwagen. It's like what?
I mean, Germany and Russia, they've got that down. Like very intimidating sound. Russia even more so because it's everything's caps. Like everything. It's so loud.
Kyle, I've worked with Russians. I know you have too. Were they angry all the time in non-angry situations?
Sergey was the rapist. He was a real sweet guy, family man, very like fun-loving and lighthearted, always joking. He was like a 45-year-old guy and just like always laugh. You know, I was 20 and like we were good friends. Like we were always like yucking it up, having lunch together and joking. We got along well. Dmitry seemed like he hated like being in America, maybe like something about his life was wrong. Like I think he was annoyed by everyone's ignorance and stupidity. I could tell that. Like he didn't suffer fools. And he was an intelligent man. This wasn't somebody who was posing. Like I could tell he was just annoyed that people weren't quite as smart as he was, and that no one was noticing that he was as smart as he was, because he was always having to like slowly explain. He mansplained, but the people needed mansplaining too. This lady came in one time. He was a bit of a smart ass too, and she was like, "I bought this car, and every time I go above 85 miles per hour, it starts making a grinding noise. I hear whistling sounds coming through the windows." And he goes, "Speed limit is 70 miles per hour." And then he just smiles and nods. And I'm sitting next to him like, good point. Good point. He had no retort. I sold your car for day-to-day drive. I did not know you wanted a race car. We can provide this. You know, like what is she gonna say? Like, no, I don't want a fucking race car. I want a car that doesn't make grinding and whistling noises.
At 85.
But he's gonna just be like, you signed the contract, the car's still driving, and you're breaking the law and you're coming to me like it's my problem. Like she's got no retort to that. He was a fun guy though, but he hated life, it seems. he was just so miserable.
When he got mad, would he ever like mutter in Russian?
I never heard him speak Russian. No. Sergey would speak Russian to me to like teach me Russian. I didn't pick a ton up, but just little bits. And
only
so
the accent.
Only the accent and like there were a couple phrases I knew, but I refused to repeat them because I know they're off. I think I know how to ask what time it is and tell someone to go fuck their mother and call somebody a son of a bitch and stuff.
All the necessary.
Yeah. And cheese. I know how to say cheese. I don't know why.
Like for pictures?
Or for food, like on a sandwich.
Yeah.
I think it's like sear, but it's like they roll the R in this weird way that I could never do. It's like sear. It's like some fucking weird shit. I could be wrong about that. He was Ukrainian.
I mean, that's same. He probably gets it. It's all kind of the same. Right?
Probably so.
They would Eastern Europeans would strongly disagree with that.
Yeah, isn't it weird how like a person from Florida, a Floridian, and like a Bostonian are so far apart. Like these people like if they were in Europe, they would have nothing in common. They would speak a different language. They would have a completely different culture. Yeah. It's whenever someone comes over that has visited with me anyway from like Europe or whatever, that's the thing that's I think they notice right away is like wow, like this place is fucking huge. What do you mean you can drive for 6-7 hours and you're just have days more drive? You know, like because I think those European countries are for the most part pretty small, right?
I mean, small, and they're all like walking distance. It seems. I have a friend who came over from over there, and he was surprised. His biggest takeaway was like, "Man, America is built for cars. You can't even walk to the grocery store." I was like, that's something I never even thought about.
But imagine how much more
country geographically compared to them.
I think we suffer from that though, right? I feel like we're not very well cultured because everything is America. It's America for days. Whereas if you're in Europe, you could take like a little day trip and you could go visit a whole different culture and like see like their architecture, their art, their language, their way of life. For us, like you go a state over, and it's just Alabama. They're just like us, but stupid. You know,
Well, they're
Like,
just they're so much more divided. Like
they're just
you
like
see
us,
those,
but their football team sucks.
Yeah, but their football team is terrible. They didn't even win the championship this year. These fucking
Yeah,
losers.
it's been a bad year for them.
Like if you do those like map overlays and you like take the US on top of Europe, it makes it seem a little more reasonable because it's like, okay, like I mean, sure, the culture between Ukraine and southern Italy or Sicily, that's like the same distance as like Boston and northern Florida or Atlanta or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those cultures aren't quite like Boston and Atlanta. They're totally different cultures, but it's not quite as disparate as
Another thing to
Ukraine
consider,
and Italy. Like that same geographic. Like it's just like I don't remember who said this, but like it always stuck with me. Is like in the United States, 100 years is a long time, and in Europe, 100 miles is a long distance.
Yeah,
And
that's really well
very
said.
different because like here, like I can drive the distance of 3, 4, 5 European countries to get to Denver from St. Louis. They're still speaking English. They don't even have a discernible accent from me.
Here's the other thing, and like during that drive, you will learn nothing new because the interstate system in the United States, like maybe this isn't the same for everyone, but for you Europeans and Asians, everyone who's not from the U.S., let me tell you something you might not know. The United States is cookie cutter. If you're on the interstate highways, the ones that allow you to really pass around at 70 miles per hour at high speed from state to state, major city to major city, everything is the same on the side of those roads. It's billboards and like the same 15 restaurants copy pasted, the same Tanger outlet copy fucking pasted. It's corporations fucking stamp every 3.5 miles on the next exit forever.
And the way you know where you're leaving like areas is like, oh, we stopped seeing Quick Trips and we started seeing this other nice, Rhodes gas station. Oh, we're in the South now.
Pilot,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
When
whatever.
you want something to eat, you have like 6 choices. There's like Chick-fil-A, Cookout, McDonald's, Wendy's.
That's all you need.
Repeat,
Subway.
on repeat.
And
I would
just every 6 miles, the same fucking like 6 of those 10 choices just comes up again.
Yeah,
and
there
again.
are so
refuse
many
to do that.
subways in this country.
So like,
Yes.
so I refused to do that shit when we would travel the country. I would tell the guys, I was like, look, we're driving to Texas today. We're not going to eat at a McDonald's. We're not going to eat anywhere that we've ever eaten before on this fucking trip. If we're stopping for fucking Hardee's in the morning, I'm going to scream. You got to find a goddamn diner, a local business, like something like. If we're going to Texas, I want Texas barbecue. I want a Texas barbecue that doesn't have a fucking trademark on the end of it.
Not Texas Roadhouse.
No, and we would do that for real. Like we would pull off the interstate and we drive like 5-10 miles sometimes just to get to some place that wasn't a McDonald's or some shit, so that we could say we did a thing.
That's like the best part.
In Kentucky. We went. All right, so some of this may not be accurate, but this is how it was told to me. Apparently, Colonel Sanders, the real Colonel Sanders, was married. They divorced, and in the settlement, I believe she might have gotten to keep the original recipe.
She got the dark meat.
I think it was her recipe, but he was allowed to keep saying he had it. But there's this restaurant in Kentucky that's like this big mansion where you go in, and it's that family style dinner where you're just like, we'll take dinner. And they bring you like everything and just cover the table with food. There's no ordering like this and that and the other. And it was so fucking good. It was like Mrs. KFC's like family style restaurant that was generational or something in a mansion. And that shit was amazing. And it was worth the 30-minute detour.
That's awesome.
That's one of the best parts too about road trips is stopping off at those little tiny places that you've never seen. And maybe it's just one restaurant that's owned by a family that has like some great food. And that's like an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like the most fun part about traveling for me is eating things in different places.
Yes, it
No,
is.
that's it.
It's part of it. It's part
That's
of
a
it.
huge
Yeah.
part of when I go somewhere new, I'm like, what am I going to get to eat?
If I'm not disgustingly full by the time I get to my destination, I'm upset.